Well, baby, you've been on my mind. I think about you all the time. Oh, I want to see your face. That don't make me wait.
We're gonna, she's gonna hook us up.
Hook us up with what?
So you have the immune booster.
Cocaine,
Immune booster, cocaine,
heroin,
black tar.
heroin.
We're gonna get hooked up. We're gonna get rolling. She's gonna hook you up. You're gonna do immune booster.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my NAD. We're both gonna do vitamin push at the end.
All right.
We'll see who gets the happy ending first.
All right.
Am I able to leave the room and come back, or do you want me to go get everything?
You can even come back.
Okay.
You can leave and come back. We'll just talk about life and stuff. So, Grace, can I say your last name?
Yeah.
So, Grace, I'm a big animal lover and I fucking hate snakes. So, your story in there, no, I'm being serious, really touched me. So, besides Oscar not showing up and putting you to do this, for you to be here on what happened overnight, I really appreciate it. So,
Well,
this
thank
isn't
you.
for camera shit. This is me being serious.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
thank you.
Got a very special guest today here. We have Grace from Smooth Aesthetics, is the company Grace works for,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
And Grace is my, so to speak, I guess my dealer, my pusher, my
Mhm.
drug pusher,
Sure.
my
sure.
healthy wellness
Biohacking, man.
biohacking
We're doing this.
advocate.
Yes.
And Grace comes to my house once a month and she hooks me up with my NAD.
Mm-hmm.
We do the immune boosters. And so we're going to do that today. We were scheduled to do that today, but we're also scheduled to shoot today. So Grace, thank you for jumping in. Grace
You're
didn't,
welcome.
Grace didn't know we were going to do this
No.
during the shoot today.
No, and Grace, by your name, by the way, is giving us a lot of grace
Yes.
because she is playing along with us. So we thought, what a great idea. We were looking for content, right? And a lot of people who watch our show or listen, they want to know what our daily life is. And Brandon continuously talks about this.
Yeah.
And he talks some funny stuff about his tank getting warm, his balls and stuff. So I've always wanted to put it live on camera, not his taint or
You
balls.
want to
No,
have
no.
your taint warm?
Yeah.
Not his taint and balls, but just I wanted to see what this process was, so more people watching can see what this process is.
Mhm.
Me for the immune booster, and I'll be completely transparent and honest, like I always am. Lord knows you are always that way.
Yeah.
And just kind of talk about our feelings, even the needles going in. I think that'd be good for our audience.
Okay.
All
So let's get hooked up and
Let's
then
do
we
it.
can,
Okay.
and then if you want to hook us up, Grace, then you can get back down. We'll talk a
Yeah.
little bit more about
Yeah.
why we do this or
Okay.
Yeah.
what you see with all your clients and all that. So
Let's go first.
yeah, go me first so I can get going because I'll probably go slower than you.
Right. I'm always quick.
Yeah, you're usually pretty.
You open yours up though, so y'all might go the same speed. Also depends on. things.
So Grace, her history, we'll talk about this, but I can talk about it while she's
Sure. Yeah.
hooking up. I believe she was a nurse. She is a nurse.
I am a nurse.
RN?
Yes. So
She's an RN.
I worked in the ER.
Wow.
So my background is ER nurse. So-
ER. She's an ER nurse.
Yeah.
So we'll talk. She's got some pretty fun emergency room stories.
And
I'm
Grace,
sure.
once we get you on mic, I'll ask questions unlike Brandon's doing right
Yes,
now.
I know.
So
It's kind of a dick move.
So, Brandon, me and you are going to talk through this. So, kind of give our audience, because we have a lot of listeners, believe it or not, more than people who watch us. So, what's going on right now? Give us
So
play by play.
right now, she's got a tourniquet on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who's ever had blood drawn, it's a very similar process.
Mhm.
She's going to put a catheter into the vein. So we're basically hooking up the IV.
You know, and me and you have, and I'm not being funny, I have thick vein, like she won't have an issue.
No,
Obviously,
yeah.
yours is, man, that went in easy, bub.
Yeah.
This is a smaller needle.
Okay.
So with the infusion that he's getting, it is required to have a smaller needle.
So what gauge is this? This is a 22.
Are we able to catch
Yeah.
that, Dan? Can we hear her?
Ish.
Ish. Okay. I got you.
So, we do IV sedation
Yep.
in the dental practice all the
Mhm.
time. And one of the things we see in IV sedation is the people that have sleep apnea.
Yep.
But so very similar, we're just hooking up an IV. We're getting access directly to the bloodstream. And then the nice thing about Grace is she gives me control.
Shocker. You know,
Yeah.
Brandon, we could say that about your
Oh, yeah,
life,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I've I've met Jenny, so I can't rag you too much
No, she-
anymore. I can't rag you.
Yeah.
too
What
much anymore.
are you trying to get into there?
Well, because you just said what you like about Grace is she gives you control.
Well,
That's what you said. I didn't say it.
control over my NAD push.
But let's just look broader here.
So we're doing a Zofran push right now. I think do you do 2 milligrams Zofran or 4?
We start out with 2.
And for those who don't know, like Handsome Dan, I know what Zofran is. What does Zofran do? Brandon?
So Zofran is an anti-nausea
That's right.
medication. So
Mhm.
one of the only things I was saying, we'll get Allard hooked up now, about the NAD push in particular, and you may see me start to zone out or ramble here because it's the NAD can be a little uncomfortable.
Well,
as
that's
it's-
why I wanted to,
as it's going in.
Yeah.
And so
Because is it thick? I mean, what makes it uncomfortable?
we don't exactly know what makes it uncomfortable. We just know that it gets uncomfortable.
Okay.
And some people get the feeling of a little bit of a gut discomfort,
Mhm.
a little rumbling.
Mhm.
And the interesting thing about it is as soon as you stop the NAD, that uncomfortable feeling goes away.
Really?
So it, like, depending on how slowly you drip it. So we're dripping it fairly quick right now because I just like to
Get it done?
get it in, get it done. But a lot of people take their time with it because it,
No. Well, I'm a big Joe Rogan guy, right?
yeah,
And so he talks about all, and he does what you do. He just pushes through it. I think he
Yeah.
had like a record time. Like,
well, I think he smokes a huge bowl of
what's
cannabis
What's wrong with
before
that?
he does it. Because,
Weed. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that helps probably.
I should have done that.
We should have done that.
Oh, thank you.
So the Zofran helps. It's an anti-nausea medication.
Mhm.
It helps with the
Yep.
discomfort that you feel in your gut.
And now I'm hooked up. The needle, I barely felt it even go in. Thank you. I think that has a
Kinda
lot
like
to do with
all the women after you get done with them,
Okay. Wait, was that a compliment? I think you just complimented me.
that they barely feel it when you go.
Oh
in.
no, I thought you meant afterwards. Okay, sorry. So now I'm hooked up with urine, and if you look, we're going to try an experiment today where we take straight urine and put it directly into. I'm just kidding.
I hear-
I hear that's very hydrating.
I will tell you there's everybody pitches me on podcasts now. It's hilarious, or they want me to be on their podcast. And this one person, the guest before they asked me, it was a woman who was, I want to say in her 60s, but believed in the power of urine, rubbing it on her, drinking it. And she looks like she's like 20 something. I mean, it was, and then could you imagine that I would be on?
What podcast was this?
It has to do with
shit?
biohacking. Yeah, no, it's a kind of popular one.
There's
in
also
California.
there's people who, well, this is pretty gross, but
It's okay.
there are some people who put their like period blood all over their face.
That is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do that, Grace?
No, I
No.
don't.
I thought you were going to
Can I
say
cuss on this?
You
absolutely.
can say whatever the fuck you want.
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say
I was gonna
absolutely.
say
Yeah.
absolutely not.
That is
and
so
then
great. I mean,
didn't know.
without blinking.
Hey,
Without blinking. Uh-oh.
Grace, I'm dripping.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Hold on.
Is this normal?
I felt a drip right here. Is that okay? You
yeah.
just need-
Sometimes men's hair will get caught in the threads,
Mhm.
and it can kind of loosen it. Give me one second. I put some gloves on.
No problem.
Okay. I've never dripped on myself before.
I do all the time.
Yeah, I've never dripped.
What are we
So
talking about?
that's interesting. Period blood?
Period
and they
blood.
rub it on like their face?
Their face, their body, they kind of like bathe themselves in
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, there's
I'm
the
getting
whole.
the
So we
picture
were
of the
talking
movie
about
Carrie
we were
all of a
talking
sudden.
about
Exactly, it looks
stem
just like
cells.
Jeez.
You know, and I'm still doing a lot of stem cell research.
Yep.
And we were talking about stem cells, and yeah, he's our next guest, so he's fine. He's good. We just have random people. Caspar, what's going on?
What's up, man?
So the
You want him to come sit down?
no, he'll come
Okay.
in. He'll
Oh.
come in afterwards. We'll give Grace her time.
Okay.
So this is interesting. So I was dripping.
We're talking about stem cell. You're
Hey,
going
hold
all
on.
over.
So we
He's
stopped
all over
it.
the place.
So we stopped it,
Right.
and now I feel no discomfort.
Because you stopped the drip.
We stopped the drip. And
Okay.
as soon as you stop the drip, there's no discomfort. But so prior to this, my eyes were starting to get a little buggy in the back of my
Okay.
eyeballs
That's what I wanted you to talk
and
through.
the back of my neck.
Yeah.
I think it's just the threads.
Yeah, I'm just gonna unscrew it and then I'll
Screw it back in?
Screw it back. Yeah.
Okay.
I just could leave.
It's all right.
It's just-
So I'll go ahead and start talking for a second. So Dan, the one of the interesting things that has happened is the request to be on podcast, and Handsome Dan was a big proponent. He's like, when we first started, Dan was like, man, we got to get on other people's podcasts. Well, Dan, some of the offers I get
No.
is the funniest stuff. And I wanted to get our brand Sleeping Around the podcast out and going, and then be able to go ahead and promote it. But some of the ones, Dan, I don't know.
You should go on all of them regardless.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what's that craziest ask you've had so far?
For podcast?
Yeah, like anybody ask you to do anything like, fuck a horse or anything?
No. Brandon, no.
You going to Mexico for these podcasts? What's happening?
No. But
About
so here's the cool thing. Out of all the podcasts, I've only said yes to one.
I think we're good.
And and I believe the podcast went excellent. Sleep Tech Talks. It's in our realm. It's run by
Okay, I'm
people
tripping
that
again.
people
You
that
are?
No.
tremendously
Tripping there again. Yeah.
people that I tremendously respect. Emerson Kerr from Phillips. We got Roger Miller from the VP for an amazing company that for some reason this drip now I can't seem to think clearly. And then a good friend of mine asked me to be on Sleep Tech Talks. So I've only done one podcast and I liked it and the response was great. But no, I just don't know yet. We've had people who have podcasts or do different things on our podcast. So
Well, let's talk about Grace for a minute here.
Let's do it.
since We're back hooked up again.
yeah.
Grace, tell us about NAD.
Okay.
Why do people do NAD?
Honestly, I don't know because it's pretty brutal for a lot of people. But the benefits
Move
of
your
it
mic
are,
closer to you.
Okay, sorry. The benefits of it are great, but the process of getting there is absolutely horrendous. So the NAD is a vitamin B3 derivative. I
Okay.
can't say the full name, so I looked it up.
That's okay.
It's nicotinamide, adenine, and dinucleotide.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an inactive and active form of vitamin B3.
Okay.
So as it was explained to me, so don't quote me on anything because I'm not a scientist who created
okay.
this stuff, but as we get older, we deplenish the vitamin B3 that's in our body.
Yes.
And it's very important vitamin to have for a lot of different things. And so Dr. Conover is how we got into the NAD and providing it for our clients, but it works on a number of things as far as anti-aging. And I actually have a list in my notes.
Dr.
When I
Conover
first
is
started.
the founder of Conover Wellness.
Mhm.
He's a huge performance guy, and he's an MD, and he's in South Carolina, I
Mhm.
think. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's out of Charlotte, South Carolina. Works with a lot of athletes. I mean, we're talking. So we're going into this realm. We're talking about biohacking. We're going into this realm of health and wellness and optimization.
Right.
And so I think that's why people really do this, because we go back to anti-aging. But go ahead,
Also,
tell us what's on your list.
You can kind of consider this as like biohacking and decoding your
Okay.
body's cells, essentially, and like your DNA and rebuilding it and decoding and then building new codes for your body to work on. And so in the 60s, this NAD or the vitamin B3 was used to treat schizophrenia, bipolar, depression. But because it's a vitamin, Big Pharma could not patent it. So that's when they came out with all the antipsychotics and depression meds and everything. And so-
SSRIs,
Yes.
SNRIs. Yeah.
which we all know are pretty brutal to the
Yeah.
body and they don't really work. And so NAD specifically, it works for anxiety, works for depression, athletes, concussions, brain fog, PTSD, helps with energy, mind clarity. I mean, there is a slew of benefits, and it's an inflammation relief. So
That's where I was getting ready to go.
the what you're feeling. So it's kind of crazy. And I didn't do NAD for wellness purposes. I did it to see how what my clients were feeling.
Mhm.
Because everyone feels something different and you don't feel the same symptoms every time you do it. So
Right.
you might feel the similar symptoms with every session, but there's always something new that you're like, oh, I didn't feel this last time. And everyone experiences something different, but it targets inflammation. So it knows exactly where to go, which is crazy. And it's basically rebuilding the mitochondria
Mhm.
of your cells.
I'm a
So-
real big believer in inflammation, right? And so for me, having a major surgery, I chose, I had no disc in my lower back, so I chose to get my disc fused. And in Houston, Texas, I went to the best of the best. And I can say without a shadow of doubt, when people see me with my shirt off from my scar, they cannot believe that I live the life I live with a fused back. The secret is all about controlling my inflammation. So what I learned is what I eat, definitely saunas, and just core strengthening around where those fused are. My goal was always to do NAD. And when Brandon started doing it, I was really impressed because my understanding of it was it also helped get rid of that inflammation. I think our bodies are so, I was taught at a young athlete just to take ibuprofen, take Advil, take Advil, take Advil, to the point where I believe, and I'm like you, I'm not a scientist, just for me and my own experiment in my own body, once I stopped taking ibuprofen, once I stopped taking all the anti-inflammatories and just actually treating that inflammation, man, I felt better. I reacted better, clarity, but also just my body. I just felt better.
Yeah.
And I think it healed, the healing process happened a lot faster after having my discs fused.
Now, I hear a lot of people say that they do the NAD, that they feel like they sleep better. Do you get a lot of clients that?
Well, she
that
said
say that as well?
anxiety gets to, so that's part of
it does help with sleep. The fast vitamin push that Dr. Conover likes to have at the end of your session, it does have magnesium. So magnesium helps with sleep.
Yep.
So it could be a mixture of just rebuilding of your cells and your body doing something totally different, or it could be magnesium. I think it might be a combination of both though.
Well, I feel, and again,
Talk
going
to me,
in, it's uncomfortable. My gut's a little rumbly. I typically get really tight in my neck.
like somatic. Do you know what that means?
Somatic, like
so somatic
body tight muscle.
Yeah.
And then my jaw hurts. Like my teeth and my jaw like feels like it just like it's
I'm
tight
physically
and it
looking
hurts.
at you. You get like this look.
Well, it's kind of interesting because a lot of times I just do this on the couch and I kind of just throw my head back and I just kind of wait and I, try and just breathe through it. And Grace is great because she'll kind of talk you through it. Like she'll keep you occupied and take your mind off of it. And I think part of that's just if you can take your mind off, it doesn't feel as uncomfortable.
Right.
But I noticed two things when I started doing the NAD. First of all, you mentioned the inflammatory, that kind of thing. The biggest thing I noticed was a mood change. Like I feel like more elevated, a little bit more elation, more happy, a little bit more positive. The first few weeks, so I get this once a month and I can tell like the first few weeks, and I don't know, I was just thinking about this morning. I feel like I can take on the world. I feel like any job is not too big. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's get it done. And towards the end, before I'm due, I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, man, I'm feeling a little stressed today.
Yeah, we talked last night.
And I think the stressors of life maybe impact more when I'm not. And then my nose is getting a little stuffy now. So that's the other thing. My nose gets stuffy.
I think too, Brandon, and a lot of our viewers or listeners can relate to that. People who continue to watch our show and stuff know that you're scheduled, dude. It's crazy. I have a lot of people in my life, whether at work, friendships, whatever. And they think I'm crazy. Your schedule, and without giving too much away, you're in different countries, you're in different states, you run many businesses. If this is a way for you and for someone in our audience to handle those stressors, it's all for it. I think.
And I think, and you too, like with as much as you travel, like getting an immune booster, as many people as you're in contact with, as much as you travel, the different late nights that you have, all of that can wear down the immune system. Yeah. And I think, right now coming out of the pandemic and COVID, I think everybody's really aware of how important the immune system is. Yeah. And we know that the number one thing that goes back to the immune system is sleep. Exactly. Enough sleep, enough quality sleep. There's all these studies out there showing quality of sleep, treating sleep apnea, sleep deprivation, increased risk of getting viruses, colds, flus, all that kind of stuff. But I just think for me that getting the NAD, getting the immune boosters, getting the vitamin push, along with the daily supplements that I do, kind of helps to just keep my body maintained throughout the busy schedule, throughout all the travel.
And it's funny because I think, the whole purpose of this podcast was to educate and health and definitely go back to sleep. If anything that can promote sleep is taking care of your immune system.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it goes hand in hand, you know? I know for me, and we've shared this a lot on the podcast, I have to get up at a certain time every morning.
I'm slamming this right now. You have no idea.
Do you think an airway stent would help you with your stuffy nose?
Next time I do an AD, I'll try an airway stent.
Oh,
That's a
wow.
good idea. I'm not going to put it in now because my hands are full.
Yeah.
We can help you.
No, I'm not gonna have you put it in for sure. I'll show Grace that. She'll like that airway stent. Speaking of airway stents,
Yeah.
Grace, have you ever heard of nasal breathing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you try to practice nasal breathing? Do you know how important nasal breathing is?
Not like a mouth breather.
Yeah, you don't want to be a mouth breather. Nasal breathing is really important.
It's key.
I don't sleep with my mouth open. I do know that.
That's good. And if you do sleep with your mouth open, you should tape your mouth shut. Some people should just tape their mouth shut anyway. But Grace is like, you should tape your fucking mouth shut. There's a product out there
Mhm.
that we have come to know
And partner with.
and partner with called Airway Stents. And it's designed to help you breathe through your nose better. So it's like a stent, like imagine like a catheter stent that goes into your heart and opens up the blood vessels, goes into your nose, opens up the nasal passages, allows air to flow better, pushes the turbulence out of the way, helps if you got inflamed passages, all that kind of stuff. And so we've started to look at that. Athletes are doing it. They're
Yep.
wearing it to optimize their breathing during training and workouts.
Mhm.
And in our world, helps you sleep better. So they're one of our partners. That's my ad read for
No,
Airway Stents.
I thought you did a very good job.
Good timing. Grace, I want to hear your best emergency room story from when you were an emergency room nurse.
Mm.
And then I want to hear why you do this now instead of the emergency room nurse.
Why do I have a feeling they might be tied together?
you used to?
God,
You
you
used to
know,
do.
there's not really like, they're not good stories. They're either really gross or really
Sad.
sad,
Yeah.
and vulgar.
Those are, you could tell any of those. How much
Here you go. I'll lighten the mood. Grace.
Okay.
meth?
Do you know why doctors ask men to turn their heads and cough whenever they're checking for a hernia?
A hernia?
Yeah, they say turn your head and cough.
I thought
They
that
do.
was for your prostate.
No,
Nope,
no.
Turn your head and cough. Do you know why they do that?
No,
That's
I
bend
don't.
over and
So
spread
you
your
don't
cheeks.
see the physician's face going.
Oh my God. You know, there have been some really funny instances with females and our male docs.
Yeah.
Burns
That
right
was
through it.
like, that was a good
I'm sorry.
segue.
Thank you.
No, not much phases me. It's okay.
That was a good
Um,
job. Damn.
And our male docs will have whether they are having to do like a pelvic exam for a female, or a dig exam, which is a rectal exam, and they
Mhm.
have to obviously insert their fingers. And there's been a few times, there ones in specific, my favorite ER doc, I'm not going to say his name, but they have to have chaperones. So if it's a
Yep.
female in the room and it's a male doc, we have to go in there and be a chaperone. And he was doing a dig exam on this female patient, and she was really nervous about the whole situation. And anyways, so he ends up, doing the whole
Exam.
process in the exam. And about 30 seconds after he'd inserted his fingers into her rectum, she's like, "Oh, that actually kind of feels good." And he immediately, exam was over.
Oh, that's funny.
As
seriously,
someone
sir,
who
like,
has to,
I-
as someone who has to get the prostate checked once a year, no jokes aside, I've been having to get it done since I was young because I had some issues, and then I had a ruptured appendix. I had to take a piece of my colon out. Long story.
is that from all the
Now,
things you used to stick up there?
now they don't use fingers. There's actually a probe that they do
I've
to
still
check, and it's.
Maybe that's too expensive for the hospital.
Well,
But it's not as an invasive. I'm being dead serious, guys.
But
Yeah.
a lot of people still use fingers because
No, I do.
there's a feel
I know, but
to
there's
how hard the prostate is that you
yeah.
may not be able to feel. I had a urologist tell me a joke one time. It was kind of funny. He said,
Hold on. What are we doing?
"Oh yeah, okay."
What do we prep? So what does this feel like?
So this is the vitamin push.
All right.
So the vitamin push, I'm gonna extend your arm out just a little bit.
Sorry.
The vitamin push has all B vitamins in it. It does not have B12 in it, but you did get B12 in your immunity booster. It has niacin and magnesium. The niacin is going to make you feel very, very warm. And warm, I feel like there's not really a word to describe what you're going to feel. But you're going to either taste or smell like a Flintstone vitamin in either your throat, wherever you'll taste it or smell it. You'll feel warmth in the back of your throat.
Okay.
And that's when you're going to feel that heat. So it's going to travel all the way down your body. It's going to get in your chest, your head, and your ears are going to feel like they're on fire. You are going to feel like your face should be bright red and you have beads of sweat everywhere. You don't. It's going to go down your arms. It's going to hit your gut. When it hits your gut, that's when females, they either feel like they have peed themselves, feels like contrast dye. But for males, they feel it on the tip of their penis or in their butthole. And it's just a very hot heating pad, essentially. And you'll feel it in your toes, and then it'll dissipate. Some people feel it immediately when I start pushing this. Some people don't feel it until there's like 5 mils left.
Okay.
So
Now you said females feel that?
Let's go.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out today.
Let's go. Here we go.
So
All right.
if
She
Matthew
feel
is,
anything in
if
your
Matthew
butthole
feels
today.
like he peed himself.
she is entering in.
yeah.
Here we go. I'll be completely honest.
So I'll let you know when it should be in.
Okay. I've heard that
Okay.
once before.
Yeah. It's in.
He normally has to let them know.
I feel it.
Where do you feel it?
My hands.
Your hands.
This one right here.
Just your left hand?
Yep.
What about your ears?
Not yet.
Dude, you are sweating hard. Look at you. You're starting to turn red.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling anything major yet. Now I am in my hands again. My left hand.
He's a big dude,
And if
Grace.
it's
You can
burning
push it
at
harder than
all,
that.
at the IP site, let me know.
Nope, not burning.
How are you feeling? Any sensations?
I've just been, my neck's been hurting and my nose is stuffy. And
Let's get an airway step in there, man.
And my neck and my jaw. But I just turned it off because I'm about out. And so I'm going to wait because I got to do my vitamin push too.
Does it need to still be in there, like a little bit left?
Yeah,
over
you need
to-
enough to flow, to push the vitamin in because
Mm.
that's the downward pressure of the fluid that's going to cause it to go in.
Nothing yet, guys. I'm being serious.
Nothing?
Just my left hand.
You're weird.
I am.
Push it harder.
But I've experimented with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a needle in your arm?
Oh, well, I donate blood once a month. Okay, my neck right now.
Yep.
I hit hot right up here,
Alright.
right here.
Yeah, here you go.
My cheek.
I don't know.
My cheek. Is my face turning red?
needle drugs.
Me either.
Yeah.
No
it's-
experience.
It's a lot. It seems
I've
just
never
like
done a
lot.
needle drug.
It seems like a lot
Ooh.
to
Ears,
ears.
and my cheeks. Like real hot, my cheeks and ears.
Yeah.
Here he goes.
Other-
he's squirming. His legs are moving.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I want the audience to know it's hot, and it is.
Like
it's hot.
flushing hot.
It's
Like a fire inside your sternum.
it's hot in my anus.
Yep.
Very hot,
Yeah.
and my ears.
Still in your ears too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in my cheeks.
It'll dissipate. In like
But
30
it's
seconds.
gone from there. It's in my chest still. Oh, that was cool. Okay, now it's back down there.
Oh boy. Like
I
a
just
delay.
flushed the- so.
Scale of 1 to 10. Do you love it or hate it?
I love it. But how's it scale of 1? Oh, scale 10 being I love it.
Yeah. 10
Probably
maybe.
a 9 or 8, man.
Yeah.
Because it didn't. I was expecting something else. But yes, ma'am.
Does it do anything to your vision?
No, but I will tell you, the heat came quick and dissipated.
Yeah.
Like it's gone.
Mhm. Yeah. It doesn't last very long.
Uh,
Once it's in and it.
You know what? Your analogy of a heating pad, that's perfect because that's sleep with one every night, back and stuff. Yeah, it was good. Okay, no, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Nothing with
I'm just
vision.
curious.
Nothing.
We'll see how you feel the next couple days.
So
Okay.
you should get a lot of energy from this. And I can explain what is in this too.
Yeah. I'll put her on
Just a
mic.
second,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Yeah, get finished with him. And so far the experience was awesome. Dan, thank you for talking to me through that. I think I didn't feel the sweat. I definitely felt heat.
Oh, no, I was lying.
No, but
You
she
weren't
said
sweating.
you could feel like you're
Oh,
sweating.
oh,
And, yeah. But I did feel, dude, it came on. It started in my hands though,
Yeah.
just my left hand, and then literally it went to my cheeks and then ears, chest, down there. But I never got the penis thing. A little disappointed. That's why it's not a 10 out of a 10.
Yeah.
I wanted to feel heat there because you always talk about that.
I feel it there, but I have
Mine might be too long. So the base,
might not make it to the
right?
tip.
Yours is just,
yeah.
maybe, I wonder if that's why.
Could be
Grace, what do you think?
about how long his
I've
penis
not
is.
done that science experiment. I don't know.
Okay. Well, they said females feel it. So
No idea.
Can we ask you to start asking your patients?
They have
the average.
penis? Oh my god.
Can you search?
That would be a great question. How about a test on
Can
that?
you bring a ruler? Do you bring a ruler with you?
God.
To Oscar, we need a ruler.
That's great.
So we'll plug
Yeah, please.
Smooth Aesthetics
Please.
is the company that I use,
Yep.
that Grace works for.
Mhm.
They have a couple locations.
Okay.
They have a location in Dripping Springs, like a building that you can go to and do your drips there. They do other things too. They do fillers, they do Botox, they do other types of injections and stuff. They do other types of vitamin drips. They do IV drips. They do hydrating drips. So they do after parties, hungover,
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
Very familiar with that.
they-
At Mile Zero, they
Yeah.
have that. They do those
Yeah.
drips. Yeah.
And then on top of that, they do the optimizing the health, the wellness, the
Yep.
NAD,
Yep.
and the immune boosters, vitamins, all that kind of stuff. See, mine doesn't go; it goes straight to the penis.
Does it
I
really?
like it. It doesn't.
And you know,
start
I wouldn't
here.
lie.
It don't-
I
it
wanna-
starts- It starts here and then it works up for me.
That is so
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
I guess it's got to be different for everybody because I would tell y'all.
Yeah.
But I will say that I got a little nervous when she started talking about like I could feel like I wet myself or
Yeah.
because I don't want to like I know what that feels like having as many surgeries I've had, 2 hernias. Told you guys about the ruptured appendix where they literally I damn near died. They had to leave me. They cut me open and basically had me in a bag for 12 days in a hospital. And my joke is like a car wash. They just came in and had to clean me out.
Yeah.
I constantly felt that all the time.
Yeah.
Like it, and it almost drove me crazy where they had to give me medicines because I
Yeah.
always felt like I had to pee.
But the other benefit to, or what I like, obviously, because my schedule's so busy,
Yours is nuts, dude.
is they will come to you.
Yeah.
So they'll come to your house, they'll come to your office. They've done it at my office before. Like in between patients, I had a 10-minute spot and it was
Awesome.
like, show up then, hook you up to the IV,
Awesome.
get it in, do it. We did Jenny after her surgery.
Mhm.
We did the immune booster every single week. And
Dude, that had to
she
have
healed.
helped
I
her.
think it helped tremendously.
Remember, I knew someone
with
had
her
the
healing.
same surgery and her healing was crazy
Yes.
fast.
So they have a website,
Okay.
smoothaesthetics.com. Is that correct? You can go there. You can
Yep.
check it out. Sit back down, Grace. Give us any final thoughts on like, what you see with this and just kind of the clientele that you work with and what their feedback is.
The vitamin pushes are hard to sell for sure. Because you have to explain it just like that to every single client. And some
Right.
clients, they know the benefits and the vitamins that they're going to be getting, but
Right.
it's like mind over matter. They can't get over the heat and stuff, but it's great.
It was good.
I have a lot of straight men that do get the vitamin push, and they more times than not, they don't want to admit how much they like the penis.
The
tingling.
sensation.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
like it more than the gays that we see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because and no joke, I didn't feel anything there. And I'm not being funny. I just didn't. I'd
Yeah.
tell you guys.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Maybe we should get that checked out.
We do have more males get the vitamin push than we do females.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's just because guys are just more adventurous and they're more daring to try stuff, where females are like, no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's really
But
fine.
but I would assume a lot of your clientele are repeat customers.
We do get a lot of word of mouth. I think since I've started in November with Smooth Aesthetics, it is more so we get more business through word of mouth.
Wow,
We
yeah.
do get calls, people looking us up. We get told a lot that we are the cheapest around town and we're
Mhm.
the most lenient because we don't charge.
We like to use the word less expensive.
Yeah, I call it a pizza
Affordable.
delivery service. And we're not that, which a lot of, I think the hydration companies around Austin are.
Mhm.
A lot of them are, if you are not within 3 miles of where their headquarters are, they're charging you a ridiculous travel fee.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Our travel fees, I've gone to Spring Branch, which is like down in San Antonio.
I
And
know
even
exactly
for
where Spring
there,
Branch is.
our travel fee is $25. Like it's not,
Nice.
Yeah.
it's not expensive at all. We're very, I think, fair. And I think that's what a lot of our clients like about us. We're really genuine. We're not trying to sell you on the next best thing. We really do try to optimize health, and we just want our clients to feel good.
Yeah.
And they keep coming back because they do feel good.
Yep.
And
Yep.
our doses, like in the immune booster. So what you got was we either have the Cowboy or the immune booster. And I'm actually in someone's phone name. My name is Cowboy Drug Dealer. That's my name.
That's a great story.
Hey, because that's what they get.
Get a hold of the cowboy.
Yeah. So the immune booster has 15 grams of vitamin C. That's
Okay.
equivalent to 24 gallons of orange juice, which you could never do in
Right.
one sitting. It has zinc for immunity, B12 and B complex for energy, and then glutathione.
Yep.
Glutathione, many of our clients are very familiar with glutathione, specifically for the skin properties and the values that it holds.
Mhm.
With anti-aging and stuff, but specifically for the purposes of our immune booster, it is a liver detox and it attaches itself to viral, bacterial, and allergen cells and cleanses it through your liver.
Thank
So it's
you.
great.
No, I
Um,
need cleansing of my liver.
So we do these every 2 weeks. We try to, at least, just to keep our immune system up. When you're healthy, it keeps you healthy. When you're sick, it helps you get better faster.
Yeah.
And the Cowboy, just the only difference is it has 25 grams of vitamin C.
Yep.
And it comes with a vitamin push.
And I can tell you, I know, during COVID and when I got COVID, I was like, immediately get me that. And I think what they saw, at least what Oscar told me, is a lot of COVID patients that get this immune booster, get the extra pushes and stuff. And COVID was just like nothing. It was just,
Cool.
and I know Rogan did a bunch of IV stuff too and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I'm a believer. I love it. I appreciate you coming. I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on. I
Thank
know we
you.
got to wrap up here.
We did.
You're good.
But thanks for being here and thanks for what you do. We'll put all the
Absolutely.
tags in the links so people can look you up and hopefully
Yeah.
we'll find some more customers
And
for
they
you.
get 10% off their first time.
Love it.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
thank you
there you
so
go.
much, Grace, for coming on the
Absolutely.
podcast. Appreciate
Awesome.
you. All right, bye-bye.
When the sun goes down and the moon is high, we'll be chasing stars